Hello everyone, Happy New Year to you all. I hope your new year is off to a great start. Well, today we are crafting a card. We're using some Spellbinders Club Kits and they're amazing. I'm using the Large Die of the Month Club Kit. It's called Hummingbird Delight. It has everything I love in here. There's daisies, there's hummingbirds, and then there is a photo frame and there's postage edge. You just can't go wrong with all of the things in the Large Die of the Month Club Kit this month. So it's a great way to start the new year. We're going to be using this on our card. I'm also using the Embossing Folder of the Month Club Kit. It's called Cloud 9. And then the Clear Stamp and Die of the Month Club Kit is all sentiments. And it's called Best Year Sentiments. It's one of those stamp sets that, or greeting stamp sets that will be great for all occasions. Thank yous, birthday wishes, or actually best wishes, smiles, just becauses, hellos, for yous. So this is one of those sets that can be used year round, which is fabulous. Let's jump in and get started with step number 1. And we're going to create our focal point, which will be our hummingbird. Before we do our die cutting, we're going to create a panel. And what we're going to do is just some messy ink blending on an A2 panel of cardstock. I have 3 different colors of inks. You could use your Distress Oxide inks. Any inks that you have would work. You could even use your Distress Sprays if you wanted to. I chose 3 colors that blended very well together. I have yellow, a teal, and a corally pinky orange color. Zest, Seafoam, and Shell. These are my Pawsitively saturated inks. And all I'm going to do is create some trio clusters of the colors on this panel. I'm going to use my small blending tools because I'm going to use this panel to cut out my hummingbird. And when I do that, I want to be able to have all 3 colors on each one of my little die cut areas. So we have our teal, just little splotches, and then I'll bring in my yellow, and we're going to overlap with the yellow, kind of creating a green. There we go. And then we're going to bring in our shell, and we will overlap these. So I have these little splotches everywhere. Now this is what we're going to use to die cut out our hummingbird. Let's go ahead and do that. Our hummingbird and the flowers are going to be our focal point. So let's go ahead and die cut these out. The hummingbird, there's several sections. Maybe we'll put this one over here. So I'll probably end up creating 4 hummingbirds, and then tomorrow I'll create another card project. So keep a lookout for that video. But we're going to die cut out multiple colored hummingbird parts. As far as the hummingbird beak goes, I'm going to bring in some gray cardstock. We'll cut this out here. And I think we're going to go ahead and die cut out the rest of our elements all at once. I have some green cardstock. We'll cut out a couple of these leaves. And then for today's card, we're going to use the honeysuckle flower. There is 3 parts to the flower, and I'm going to use my chiffon cardstock here. I'm going to make 2 flowers, so we'll cut out 2 sets of these. And then for the flower stamen, I'm bringing in some mirror gold cardstock, and we're going to cut out a couple of those. The mirror gold stock that I'm using is from my Treasured series. It's actually the matte, no, it's actually the mirror metallic. Here. Okay, we're going to do our die cutting, and we'll create a hummingbird. My die cutting is all done. I had to do several different sets. This die here, I needed 2 sets. Okay, and then this die here is the wings of one bird. Okay, so I have 2 sets of those with this die. And then this set here, I did 2 sets also. Now to create our hummingbird, I'm going to take the hummingbird body and I'm going to flip it over, add a little glue behind here, and then I'm going to tack down the beak of our hummingbird and the eye. I mean, how neat is that? One shot. Well, that is really nice. I'll do the same thing with this one. Okay, there is deboss detail, so you know where to put the extra pieces. And so I'm just going to add glue where those extra pieces go to make this easy. With this piece, I mentioned you need to cut this out twice. You don't. This is a lefty and a righty. So this is just a one-time shot through the die cut machine. So I stand corrected. Now for these pieces, what I'm going to do is, this one has more yellow, this one has more pink. This tail feather has more pink, so I'm going to put the pink tail feather with the yellow, and I'm going to put the yellow tail feather with the pink. I think that's going to work out great. I'm going to add a little glue here, and then we can add our base of the wing here. And I'll do the same thing with this one. We'll add it over here. Now these little wings have layering elements to them, so that's just what we'll do. We'll layer them. And then lastly, we have these little pieces that all we're going to do is stack together to create some flutter. And then we add this little flutter behind that wing. And our two hummingbirds are almost done. I say almost because I'm going to bring in my splatter box, and we are going to use some solar spray. I'm using my Simon Hurley Golden Hour. I love this. You want to shake it up really good. I'm going to spray my hummingbirds and give it that shimmer that we all know. And I'm going to set these aside to dry. I don't know if the camera will pick it up. Probably not, but it has that beautiful sheen to it that all those, that I think is going to go perfect. So hummingbirds are done. Let's build our flowers. I do want to add a little bit of ink to my flowers. I'm using, again, this is Simon Says Stamp shell, and I want to add a little bit of extra color, not too much. I want to take this piece and the stamen. I'm going to tuck it in here, like so. I'll do the same thing with this one. And then we're going to take this and layer it right over the top of the base of our flower. So pretty. Okay, and then we have the final piece. With the 3 layers, you know, usually I pop up my flowers in certain sections, but since these are 3 layered flowers, I don't think I need to do that. I think the 3 layers of cardstock is going to give me enough dimension. That's all there is to those. I'm going to call them honeysuckle because that's kind of what they remind me of. While we have our leaves here, I'm going to add some color using my seafoam to the edges. I went ahead and put foam tape behind my hummingbirds and my flowers, and this is going to be our focal image. I'm going to put these to the side, and now we're going to work on step number 2, which means we need to create our home panel. We're going to do some more die cutting using our Large Die of the Month Club, and I love that there's an insert for this piece here. I better zoom back out. I just love that this is an insert, so you could use this frame with or without the insert. I'm going to take this alone, and then using some waterfall cardstock, I'm going to cut out a panel. Now, you know, when I do this, I'm going to line it up to create an extra photo frame. We're not using it today, but in the future, I can have this on hand, and it's just going to create a photo frame for me. This is what I mean about the photo frame. So this is going to make a great home panel for another card, but for this card, we're just going to use this piece. Now I'm going to take our embossing folder, and we are going to do some embossing with this panel. The embossing folder this month is called Cloud 9, and I'm going to take it and we're going to emboss a panel. That's going to give me the texture that I like. I just love it. We'll put that back. Okay, I am going to take some white pigment ink and I'm going to go over this. And this is just going to make it pop. You see how it just stands out? I love that. Okay, and then taking my paper trimmer, I'm going to trim down 1/4 inch off. So we'll just trim off 1/4 off the one side and then 1/4 off the bottom. Okay. Now I did that because I want to take the same die and I'm going to cut out some of my metallic gold cardstock. Okay, I'm going to cut out a panel with this. Use my tape runner and I'm going to adhere this to the gold. We're basically just matting our embossed panel on our gold. And that will be my home panel. Okay, we'll put that with our hummingbirds. And then now we're going to work on step number 3, which means we need to stamp our greeting. Let's put this to the side. I'm bringing in our stamp and die of the month club kit. And for today's card, I'm going to stamp your one of a kind. I'm going to use my VersaFine Clair. We will ink this up. Stamp this here. Lovely. And then I'm bringing in a die set from Spellbinders called the Assorted tags. I use this a lot. I think this is probably one of my favorite tags. It's the round one. And I think this will fit here. I think I can die cut this out. So there is my greeting. Now we're going to add something special to the greeting. We're going to add some circle cord. I picked up a roll of this. This is from Vivant. I picked it up at Spellbinders. And I've created a card with this, I think it was last year. Maybe not last year, maybe the year before. For I think it was a Stitchmas advent calendar from Spellbinders. It looks so stunning on cards. It adds that special flair to your cards, but it lays so flat. I mean, there's no bulk to it. And I just love it. So I ended up picking up a roll, and it is a little bit on the pricey side, but it's so worth it. This will last me a very, very long time. There's lots in here. It had, let's see, 50 meters. So I'm not sure how many feet 50 meters is, but I'm sure it's a lot because this is going to last me a lifetime. So it's a nice investment. I'll link it down below if you guys are interested. But look how pretty this is. It's nice to cover seams. I just think it's so pretty. They're little circles. And I thought we would take some of this and thread it through the tag. So I'm just going to thread it through, and then I'm going to secure it with to the back. I'm just going to use a foam square. Just like that. And look how pretty. It actually works out really well. And it's really flat. If you guys wanted to create a bow with it, you could too. You couldn't tie a bow with it, but you could just loop it and create a pretty bow with it too. So much you can do with this. Okay, it's stiff. So if you want to add glue, it would lay flat on the card. Anyway, I'm rambling again. Sorry. Okay, back to the card. This is my greeting. We're good to go. I left it kind of long because I'm going to wrap it around my card. So that's my greeting. Now we need to work on step number 4 and create our background. I'm bringing in my Seaside cardstock, and I'm taking, this will create an A2 panel. So I'm going to die cut this out. So now we have a postage edge A2 panel. You could actually make a card base out of this if you wanted to. Okay, let's adhere our home panel to the front. Lovely. And then I'm going to take my greeting. I'm going to tack this down. The third notch over here from our postage edge, we can nestle that in there. We'll just tack this down. And then we can nestle that right in that postage edge, and I'll just tack it down on the back side. kind of looping it. It kind of looks like a chain, really. Just loop it around the back, and then I'm going to take this panel and I'm going to put that on the front of my card base here. We'll just tack this down. And it is so funny. All day long I've been cleaning my craft room and not one train goes by, and I push the record button and then all of a sudden trains go by. I guess you guys get some sound effects. Okay, so that is this. I think that looks really, really pretty. Now we're going to go ahead and add our leaves. I think I'm going to pop up my leaves with some small foam squares. I'm going to do the same thing to this. I mentioned I was cleaning. I've been trying to organize my craft room. Are you guys getting organized for the new year? I always like to have a nice fresh craft room for the new year. So I've been cleaning out drawers and cupboards. And are you guys doing that too? Or is it just me? But there's my leaves. Okay. I'm going to kind of play around with the placement. I'm thinking I want them over here, and then I want the flowers to be kind of nestled in over here. I think that looks really pretty. So I'm going to commit here and I'm going to press them down. I think I want to put one over here and one down here. I think that's a good spot for them, kind of spreading it out a little bit. Now it's time to move along to step number 5, which means it's time to embellish, and I'm bringing in my Spellbinders Color Essential Gems. I think Spectrum is going to go great with this. Spectrum has an iridescent tone to it, and I'm just going to go with the teeny tiny ones, and all I'm going to do is take them and put them at the very tip of the stamen. So 3 on each flower. I think this is going to add just the right amount, and it's not going to take away from my hummingbirds. And that will finish off my card project for today using 3 Spellbinders Club Kits. We have the Embossing Folder of the Month Club Kit, the Clear Stamp and Die of the Month Club Kit, and then we also have the Large Die of the Month Club Kit. Some fun clubs. I'll be back tomorrow and we're going to create another card using the same elements that we did today. I'll be making 2 of the same hummingbirds, so those will already be made, but I really wanted to try using the daisies down here, and then I wanted to use I wanted to create like a photo frame with it. So I'll be back with another card project for tomorrow. So keep a lookout for that video. Happy New Year to you all. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for sticking with me to the end. I have 2 more videos that you guys might be interested here. If you guys are new and like the content that you see, click that subscribe button and also the notification bell. That way for future videos, be notified. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It sure does help the channel. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.